Hey there, Charlie Epstein, America's 401k coach, and welcome back to my video series based on my book, Save America Save, The Secrets of a Successful Retirement Plan. Today I want to cover the third automatic feature in Auto to the Fifth Power. Last series we covered automatic enrollment and automatic QDIA. Today I want to cover automatic escalation. This is my all-time favorite automatic feature, and I'll tell you in a minute why. I think it's the most powerful one that you can add, but unfortunately, most employers don't. Curious? Let's talk more about that. So today, I want to talk about the third automatic feature of Auto to the Fifth Power, which is automatic escalation. And I want to tell you right up front, I think it's the most important feature that you could add to your retirement plan. Now, why do I say that? Because in my first book, Paychecks for Life, I talk about a very simple mantra I call 10-1 now. 10-1 now. Now, what's that all about? Look, on average, an employee, your employees, they need to save 10% of their pay if they're going to have a chance at getting to the retirement years with enough money to pay for all the things they desire to do. Now, quite frankly, when I stand in front of your employees or the employees that we work with and tell them that they have to save 10% of your pay, you know what the majority of your employees say? They say, Charlie, that's just not going to happen. They don't have the income to save 10% of their pay. So my mantra, 10-1 now, is a simple way for them to get to saving 10% of your pay. So let me explain it to you. I talk about three people, Susan, George, and Morgan. We're all going to assume that they make the same amount of income. They make $40,000 a year. We're also going to assume that they want to save 10%, but you know what? All three of them can't. So, and the last important piece is we're going to say they're all 30 years old. So, Susan says, Charlie, I can save 10% of my pay. She does that for the next 35 years, and when she gets to be 65, she has over $445,000 in her retirement account. That's a tidy sum. Now, George is sitting in the same meeting, and he says, Charlie, there's no way I can save 10% of my pay. I say to George, how much can you save? And he says, I could save 5%. And I say, George, save 5% of your pay, and then each and every year, increase your contribution by just 1% until you get to 10%. So 10% is his goal. He starts at 5. He increases his contribution for the next 5 years by 1%. He gets to 10%. And now take a look at the chart. When he's 65, he has about $405,000 in his investment account. That's almost the same amount as Susan has, saving 10% every year. That's amazing. Now, Morgan is sitting in on one of my education meetings, and she says, Charlie, I know I have to save 10%, but I can only save 5. And so she starts saving 5, and she also says something that's very important. She says, I promise, every year I'm going to increase my contribution by just 1%. And then what doesn't she do? That's right. She never increases her contribution by 1. And when Morgan gets to be age 65 in 35 years, she only has $225,000 in her retirement account. And you know what I call that? I call that the $200,000 mistake. By not increasing her contribution by just 1% a year for the next 5 years, Morgan loses out on $200,000 of compound interest on her investment. Now, we're making the assumption that Susan, George, and Morgan can earn 6% of their money in this chart. There's no guarantee, but based on that assumption, you can see what's happening here. You see, left to their own demise, the majority of your employees will never increase their contribution. Why? Because it's a habit, and people are really bad at habit forming. And savings is a habit. It's like exercising, you just have to do it every day, incrementally. And the more you do it, the stronger you get. The more you save, the more you get. So what can you do as a plan sponsor? Back to automatic features, Auto to the Fifth. The third feature is something called automatic escalation. And it's really simple. Once a year on January 1st, you send out a notice Your record keeper can do this for you. Your third-party administrator can do this for you. They simply send out a notice to all of your employees, letting them know that you're going to increase their contribution by just 1%. Now, if they do not want to have their contribution increased, they simply notify you or the HR department, don't increase my contribution, and you won't. But statistics show us that over 70–80% of participants, when sent a notice that their contribution is going to be increased, allow it to be increased. And this is how you, as a plan sponsor, can incrementally help your employees save more money each year until they get to that 10% mark. 10, 1 now. That's my mantra. And that's auto to the third, auto escalation. Now, stay tuned, because on my next video series, I'm going to cover another one of the auto features. It's called automatic re-enrollment. It's very powerful. It's a very interesting topic because it's somewhat controversial. So I think it'll be interesting to talk about. So thanks for watching. I'm Charlie Epstein. I'm America's 401k coach. And as always, I'm interested in your comments and feedback. You can reach me at cdepstein@epsteinfs.com. I'm Charlie Epstein. I'm America's 401k coach. And we're here to serve you and help your employees create a paycheck for life. Thanks for watching.